Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. So, this is part 4, or no, this is part 3. Hold on. Okay, never mind, this is part 3. So, part 3, here we go. Andorra is still preparing for the invasion of Spain, and the Holy German Empire, Hungarian Empire, and Yugoslavia team up to oppose the colonial powers, being the following: the United Kingdom, the newly formed United Kingdom, the Andorran Empire, and the Portuguese Empire. Alright, so next up, the Republic of Rome. We see them prospering, except they don't own Sicily like modern-day Italy. They don't own Sardinia. They don't own San Marino. But San Marino keeps seeing troops put on the border by the Romans, so they're asking the Holy German Empire and Yugoslavia to defend them. They keep saying no. And finally, the day arrives. The Romans begin the invasion. And the capital falls, and San Marino surrenders. The entire Italian peninsula is united under Rome. Alright, so now the United Kingdom wants to expand their empire, so they go northeast. I think that's northeast. They begin colonization of what is now modern-day Norway. But the Holy German Empire begins more expansion. Because of this, the Hungarian Empire is a little ticked off about it all, but instead of being mad at their ally, they continue their expansion anyway. Because of this expansion continuation, a newfound country is born. It is the imperialist kingdom of Russia. And with this, the imperialist kingdom of Russia showed the Hungarian Empire and the Holy German Empire about their ally to the very far east, Siberia. These are the first countries that we know of, or that the Europeans know of, in another continent, other than Africa and the Middle East, of course, and Europe. But now that there's a big empire, imperialist kingdom of Russia, it now puts fear in the hearts of Berlin, Budapest, and Belgrade. All of those are the capitals of the countries that are allied. Alright, and finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. Andorra begins the invasion. They sweep through like nothing happened, except for the capital, because the capital is under fierce protection at the moment. Spain has been split up into 3 groups: South, Central, Central, and the Northwest. Because of this, the Spanish flee into Portugal as they are allies and has a Spanish government in exile, while Madrid is captured and the rest of Spain falls. Remember, Spanish people are still inside of Portugal's country because they are a Spanish government in exile, planning a revolution and preparing to take their land back. But the Andorrans can't go into Portugal without a military peace pact or war. And Andorra right now doesn't really want either one. Now that Andorra is probably the biggest country in the world, except for imperialist Kingdom of Russia, This means that the United Kingdom wants to step up their game. So, they sail around. Oh. I don't know what that was about. They sail around, get some colonies. You know, the usual. I'll do that real quick. Be right back. While the British were expanding their empire, they found the first African independent nation, the Republic of Ambazonia. They've been more or less a invisible puppet of the Empire of Amdonia, or Andorra, but the British were like, we're gonna invade this land. So as they're preparing for this, Andorra was like, no you're not, or we're gonna declare a war. If Andorra declares war, this will become the first major conflict in a long time, for a long time. Because the last major conflict was between Andorra, Spain, and France. Anyway, the British are now going to continue their colonization or colonialism across the world. And with the expansion of their colonialist reign, their queen, let's go with Queen Elizabeth I, gets killed in an assassination in Newcastle because of Scottish people not liking being under English rule. So by now, the Brits have annexed. Oh, the British have annexed a good amount of southern, what we call Norway, while they've also annexed all of what we know now as Iceland. With this, the British Empire is growing faster than ever. And the Portuguese, getting worried about this, send out a territory claim for more land. Just kidding. No, they didn't. But, the Sultanate of Turks finally works up the courage to declare war on the Hellenic Republic that is occupying their mainland territory. With this began the First Balkan War. And the First Bulgarian Empire was looking for an opportunity to gain more influence in all areas. So they do. They declare war on Greece and begin invading. So while the Bulgarians are attacking the Greeks, or the Hellenic people, the Sultan of the Turkish Sultanate tells the army to take northern territory. But in the meantime, the Greeks push in the south, which they don't like. So they begin pushing on all fronts that they can. But unfortunately, the only fronts they could take was very south and the sort of bulge that the Greeks had been able to make. This is the first Battle of the Bulge. But another will not happen for a very, very long time. The Turks managed to push them out of the bulge and managed to get to the coastline and take some islands, threatening Athens. The Greeks are suing for peace with the Turks. Meanwhile, the Albanians also declare war. With this, the Greeks call for an alliance with the Turks, and they get all their territory back, as long as the Turks help the Greeks this one time. The Turks agreed, because they wanted all the land they could get. So, the Greeks gave up the territories, And with that, a new alliance, temporary, is formed. Now that the Greeks' influence are coming back, then Albania sues for peace with the capture of a final island, Corfu, if I'm pronouncing that right. Bulgaria manages to still keep and capture a few territories with what they have, but after that, peace is settled. The First Balkan War comes to a conclusion. Turkey gets its territory, well, not Turkey, gosh. The Sultanate of the Turks gets their former territories from the Greeks. The Greeks get some territory back from Albania, and Bulgaria gains some territory from the Greeks. Oh yeah, and the Sultanate of Turks gains some islands that were originally Greek. Greece is trying to repair themselves, but the Sultanate of Turks is thriving. Builds an alliance with the First Bulgarian Empire and Romania. And with this, the First Bulgarian Empire declares war on Romania. And with this very weird decision, to prevent another Balkan war, Yugoslavia, considered the king of the Balkans, tells the First Bulgarian Empire, hey, you better stop your shenanigans, or we will do something about it. And the First Bulgarian Empire was like, do what? Attack my capital that so happens to be on your border? What are you gonna do? Attack our capital that so happened to be right there on your border? And then Yugoslavia was like, actually, yeah, we'll do that. We'll take your capital and burn it to the ground. So Bulgaria signed for peace. But with this peace came a little bit of harsh treatments for Bulgaria. Romania gained its old territories back, and even a little bit of northern Bulgaria. And the First Bulgarian Empire is on the brink of collapse. The Sultanate of Turks likes the First Bulgarian Empire, so they say, hey, First Bulgarian Empire, we'll give you a bunch of money to repair your country if you ally us, but only for a certain amount of time, and then once your economy's back up, we want our money back. Basically, the first ever loan. And the First Bulgarian Empire was like, absolutely, we need it. The king of Yugoslavia feels bad for the harsh treatment of Bulgarians, especially seeing that Albania is now Greek ally, and Greece plans on attacking the Bulgarian Empire once again. Seems like Greece really wants to show off some Bulgarian influence. And with this, Romania gains the strength to take out Transnistria, a rebellion that has long since been independent from original Romanian territory. So, the Romanians encircle Brasov, I think I'm pronouncing that right, which is the capital of Transnistria. Then decides to split up Transnistria's armies and citizens, causing them to surrender. For the first time in a long time, Romania is united. Now back to colonialism. The British tried to expand their empire more, but seem to have come to a deadlock with an African nation called Zimbabwe, and a few others like Zambia. By the way, they set these borders on their own. And finally, Mozambique. These African countries have seen from, I guess, dreams of how this ends out for them. So they all three ally one another, and since they all border one another, they try and declare war and repel the British colonists, or colonizers? Colonialists? I'll figure it out later. And then, Andorra realizes they're not the strongest country in the world. So, Andorra begins more colonialism. And with this new colonial reign, by the way, I did not set this border like this. They did. So, now, finally, Corsica, a tribal nation in Europe, wants to gain influence on Africa as well. So, Corsica sets out its tribal navy around Africa and colonizes a land that will one day be named something different than what it is. But right now, it is the Congo. Oh, by the way, Andorra annexed this little piece of land there for some reason. And then the real, well, a nation that they call themselves the Congo pops up and says, hey, you're gonna allow us to do whatever we want, and we're gonna take your colony. And Corsica was like, no, and started asking the Romans for help. The Romans were like, we're only gonna help you if you give us your mainland. And the Corsicans were like, oh no. And Monaco seemed like it wanted some new land too, so its navy was all around the side of, well, this side of Corsican Island. Sardinia and Sicily and Malta signed a treaty to where they are the island protectors of the Mediterranean. So much for that. Anyway, so the Romans invade Corsica, taking out the southern part of it, and Monaco was like, Romans, we're doing this now, and take the north. And with Corsica's mainland falling, a new nation rises out of their colony. They call themselves Zaire, and other people call themselves in this nation the True Congo. This will probably spark a new war later in time. Anyway, so now that that's over with, Sardinia was like, no, my friend. And Rome was like, you know what? Suffer. And they kill them. And then Sicily annexes Malta, even though their treaty, yeah, so much for that. And now it's time. Greece begins the invasion of the First Bulgarian Empire. And the Sultanate of Turks, knowing that they cannot help their ally, Bulgaria, anymore, decides to take land and try to rescue the once wonderful ally. They zoomed through at first, and then Sofia falls. And Romania invades what's left. Bulgaria ceases to exist, and its people are genocided in all its territories. This becomes a very sad time for the Balkans. A dark age, if you will. And because of this, border disputes over Sofia alone caused the Turks and the Greeks to want to fight once more. Albania is suffering economically and asks to join the Yugoslav Union. Yugoslavs sends a letter to Tirana, which is the capital of Albania, saying, if you so wish to join us, then you will let your people move anywhere they wish in this country, and you will become a monarchy and not a Muslim country. Because Islam exists around this time. First. I guess, I don't know. Remember, these videos are not meant to be religious or political whatsoever. It's just for the pretend and alternative history videos. So Albania was like, fine, we will become a monarchy and not a sultanate in order to join the Union because we are suffering that badly. So they joined the Union of Yugoslavs, and Yugoslavia gained more influence than ever before. The Hungarian Empire, however, can no longer expand without war. Same with the Holy German Empire, except to their north. So, the Hungarian Empire asks the Imperial Kingdom of Russia, saying, hey, can we have a little bit of coastline? And Russia was like, okay, give us these two provinces, and we'll let you have these two provinces. And they agreed. It was a trade. And now that the Hungarians now have a coastline in the Black Sea, they can begin their naval research. The world has changed a lot over the last many years. Because of this, the Romans start showing power. And yes, colonialism is a big thing, but it has not shown a lot of profit because the colonialists do not know what they're doing. Do not know how to truly run a colony. Catena is captured and Sicily falls. And now Rome begins its journey to unite the Mediterranean under the new Roman Empire. The first rebels are found in Germany. Well, the Holy German Empire. Oh. The Benelux region. That we know as today as the Benelux region. Is wanting a... Hold on. Okay, my bad. So, the German rebels in Berlin want a new country. They don't think this holy government is doing good for them whatsoever. This leads to the first ever revolution. And because of this, this wasn't supposed to, okay. This leads to the downfall of the Holy German Empire. A new German state is declared. Hold on, let me find it. A new German state is declared. Becomes the first nation to hold elections. With this, the Second Austrian, alright, hold on. Now, the Austrian Empire is born out of pure independence movements. The nation of Austria is born. But with this, not many Austrians can say that they liked being a separate nation from Germany. And finally, Poland became monarchical kingdom territory. Didn't want to be independent, but didn't want to be surrendered to the other territories around. So they became independent. Oh, yeah, and the Benelux. Shoot. We'll just go with this. Okay. The Imperial Kingdom of the Dutch. 4 nations gained independence this day. The Imperial Kingdom of the Dutch, a new ideology other than just being a kingdom or a colonial empire. The Kingdom of Austria and the Kingdom of Poland. These last years have been very grim and not so good. But honestly, it's not about to get any better. Because all the way over here, a new country is born. In Tokyo, the natives living there have learned what a nation is like and have seen in other places, in dreams, prophetic, if you will, that if they create a nation, they will live long and happy lives for all their time. The one island is turned into a territory called Japanese territory. No one knows if they are a kingdom, a democracy, or what. But all we know right now, is that they are an Asian country. Pure Asian. That's not to be racist, by the way. That is for the simple commentary of the video. Next, the Congo versus Zaire. The Congo declares war on Zaire on our modern day calendar of August 23rd of the first, 50? What was it, 0.5? All I know is it was 4 billion years ago in this game. Because according to the scientists, this Earth is 4.5 billion, so it's been 0.5 billion years since creation. Honestly, you'd think things would be quicker than this by now, but apparently not. So, the Congo declares war and starts invading the nation of Zaire. The capital, Kinshasa. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I am. Kinshasa. Or have been attacked, are almost surrounded, and Zaire has no hope. So, the Empire of Andorra begins a small invasion, and with the fall of the Zaire capital, they agree to a peace treaty. This treaty worsens the lives of many. Zaire is a former shell. Zaire is a former shell, or is a shell of their former self. With this, the Congo grows massively powerful and unleashes a new ideology. We'll talk about that later, though. The Europeans, like the United Kingdom, want more than just African territory, so they set sail and come across Australia. And with time, these lands are fully conquered. Well, a lot of land is. And because of this land being so quickly and easily conquered, the British are like, let's conquer more. So they conquer this side of Australia, and are like, hey, what if there's more on this side of the earth? And Asia is discovered. Part 4 coming soon.